welcome to Lloydminster.
Thank you.
Now, obviously, you spent some time at Edmonton. Is this your first time in the Lloyd area, or have you been around here before?
No, I've been around here before. We had about 3 years in a row of events for the rec center or whatever with the Oilers when I was here. So I've been here a couple times.
Okay, cool. And of course, we have golf tournaments here every year. Now, I don't recall you being here for the Hartnell MacArthur tournament. How avid of a golfer are you?
I play a little bit, but no, I haven't been to theirs. I've been years and years ago. Randy Gregg had a Ronald McDonald one out here, but I've played in a couple events here.
When did you roll into town?
Just an hour or so ago.
Oh yeah, so you're a little bit road weary after the windy drive.
No, I didn't have my head sticking out the window, so I was okay.
So you're not a dog?
No.
That's good to know. It's good to know that you behave like a human being when you're on the road. What do you think of this weather? I mean, it's nice and warm and mild, but being part of Western Canada and the prairies, there's always something going on, right?
Yeah, this is a little unusual for sure. I know in Edmonton they had record winds 120 plus kilometers an hour, so don't see that very often up here.
And of course, you've been with CBC for a while. How many years in a row, or how many years have you taken part of Hockey Day?
Well, I've been around it. Haven't always been able to go to where the events are. I know when it was in Winkler, Manitoba, it was close to Edmonton, that I was able to go on much like this on the Wednesday, Thursday, because we always have to get traveling on Friday to go where the games are, right?
Mm-hmm,
so
yeah.
The fact that this is a close drive makes it convenient, and happy to be a part of it. But I fly out of Edmonton on Friday morning to get to Toronto for my Montreal-Toronto game on Saturday.
Calling a classic on Hockey Day in Canada, huh?
Pardon me?
You're calling a classic on Hockey Day in Canada, then?
Yeah, you know what? Those games are always strong ones. It's a great rivalry, and I know, now that we have 7 Canadian teams as opposed to 6, we're in a position where one American team, the Rangers, are playing Ottawa, but typically you like to see some good rivalries, and definitely over the course of the original 6, Toronto-Montreal is a real good one.
Of course, you do a lot of the games with Jim Houston, and you guys do a lot of Vancouver games now. Can I ask you if Jim Houston is a Vancouver fan?
Huey lives out there, but we haven't done that many of them now. For about the last 3-4 years, we're mainly in Toronto, I would say 70 to 80% of the time. But I know that Vancouver was, Jim worked for Sportsnet and did Vancouver games for a long time. And when I started out, we did a lot of the Vancouver second games as well. So, it was good to see them get on a run in 2011 and take a Canadian team to the finals. But anytime, we're fortunate that you get a good Canadian matchup every weekend, pretty much.
I can imagine the travel, just being, doing a game in Toronto one week and then maybe having to do it in Edmonton or Vancouver, that's got to be kind of crazy, keeping up with the schedule.
Well, coming from being a player and then being a coach, the travel's pretty easy when you're just doing the one game a week. For the most part, you leave on a Friday morning and get into town the night before to ensure that you're there, do some watching of games and prep, and then do the game on a Saturday and fly out on Sunday. So compared to my life as a coach or life as a player, it's pretty pedestrian. It's fairly easy. The most challenging and interesting time is the playoffs, when you're basically on the road for almost a 2-month stretch. But in terms of the excitement of the games, playoffs are when you'll want to be doing games and want to be traveling. So as much as it's a little onerous there, it's also the most exciting time to be doing games.
Going back to Hockey Day, obviously being here in Lloyd and missing out on it last year, but luckily we got it this year because of the lockout. What's your favorite part about visiting these kind of communities? Because obviously you travel to the big cities, you cover the big teams, but what's your favorite part of coming to a place like Lloydminster, obviously Peterborough last year, and being part of a small community celebrating hockey?
Yeah, I think what I always like about the days leading up is the amount of interaction that the community and the volunteers have with making sure that the city and the town is highlighted, all the good stories of people who have helped make sure that minor hockey has been strong in each of the communities. I love on our Saturday during the games all the features that have been done throughout the course of the year, highlighting the stories around the game and around the communities. And I Lloydminster has a great history of some good hockey, and from the AJHL to the minor hockey, I think it's a real strong community that way. And I always enjoy, today we're going to have a little coaches session with some of the minor hockey coaches, another on-ice session tomorrow with kids, and I think those are the times that you realize how important having an outlet for physical activity, but also being a part of a team. And growing up, for me, I grew up in London, Ontario, and minor hockey and being involved in sports was just such a great growth outlet for me. And I think communities like this one, as you mentioned, the fact that they've had to wait 2 years for it, I'm sure has been a little frustrating, but also I know how committed and organized this community is to make sure everybody enjoys themselves.
Well, when it comes to this part of the country in the winter, there's a lot of good things. But one of the good things is hockey, that's for sure.
Yeah, even in Edmonton, I've got a backyard rink that I've had for my kids for over 10 years. And, I think you look around here in an environment that you can get some pretty bad cold snaps, but the one thing you always have is the ability to be outdoors and be playing, and I think it's just such a great outlet for the kids to be able to enjoy that time together. And as I said, I love the fact that both Alberta and obviously this unique town with Saskatchewan as well have great minor hockey systems, and it allows the kids every opportunity they can to be involved in the game.
Couple questions asked to me by some staff here, as well as a couple people on the old Twitter. Are you on Twitter, by the way, Craig?
I am. I'm not a real active Twitterite or whatever you call them. I, for more than anything, just to stay, tuned into what's happening around the league. My Twitter handle is HNIC Simmer, but I'm not a real active tweeter. I think more than anything, it's more of an information thing for me.
Are you following the fake Bob Cole?
No, I'm not. Should I be? Is it a good one?
Very funny. It's I mean, the guy's a legend, obviously, but everything has a period after it.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's at Bob Cole Baby.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Check it out. A couple other questions. Battle of the Blades. If there's ever a return of Battle of the Blades, is Craig Simpson in?
No, I think my skates have been hung up since the last time I stepped off the ice. Obviously, as you've seen from the 4 years that they've done, the guys have seemingly gotten a little younger. And, even our first year, we had a lot of guys who had been out of the game for a while. For myself, I had been retired for 14 years. So I think my body's just doing okay on solid ground. I'm not one to skate a whole lot now, and I think putting the figure skates on will probably be a little too much.
You must have had some good moves. You walked away with Jamie Soleil.
Well, we got a good, it was a great experience, obviously, but I think watching the guys, I have good friends with Jason Strudwick, and watching him last year and seeing the kind of effort and the work that they put into getting out there and learning and skating. The girls, the skills that they have to allow the guys to, throw them around and have confidence in them. It was great. And obviously Jamie had enough faith to allow me to do that as well.
A couple other questions for you. Little Craig Simpson trivia.
Okay.
You were drafted second overall. Who went first that year?
My buddy Wendell Clark, who's here as well, and he'll be doing part of the hockey clinic that we've got going on tomorrow as well.
Who went third?
Dana Merzen, actually.
No, he went fifth, according to Wikipedia.
No?
The
New Jersey Devils. Oh, yeah, he went to Hartford. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, third. Let me think. It was the Devils. I know that.
It was the Devils.
Meetings with them. Did they take Jim Sandlak, maybe?
That was fourth. Craig Wolainen.
Okay.
There you go. Well, you got first overall, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's great having you on the phone, and thanks for coming to town, even if it is for a couple days, Craig. It's been great talking with you, and I know a lot of people, especially Oiler fans, are going to be excited to meet you and have a chance to shake your hand.
Thanks. Always great to be here, and looking forward to a great Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada.